Malcolm-Jamal Warner. Not Malcolm, not Theo. Theodore Huxtable? Oh, that family. Oh, Jesus. Y'all, that fume gonna be rough. That's gonna be a rough fume. We gonna hear from Felicia Rashad as she says bye to her son. We gonna hear from his family. We gonna hear from Eddie, from Malcolm and Eddie.
Right off the bat, the internet seemed very perplexed about how does an accidental drowning occur. I immediately thought of Matthew Perry and Whitney Houston. They had the same cause of death. So
Eddie Griffin just sent shockwaves across the internet after dropping some wild claims about what really happened to Malcolm and his daughter too. He's saying that the whole drowning situation might have been a setup, like planned before Malcolm even touched down in Costa Rica. And get this, folks are whispering that whoever was behind it wanted his daughter gone too. Malcolm managed to save her, but lost his life in the process. Before his death, Malcolm was already starting to pull back the curtain on the industry. And you know how that goes. Once someone starts talking too much, something always happens.
TMZ is now reporting that Malcolm-Jamal Warner's death, which was initially called accidental drowning, was due to a high current in the ocean while on a family vacation. Initially, TMZ simply reported that they had an unconfirmed but reliable source saying that he simply died of accidental drowning, no other detail. Right off the bat, the internet seemed very perplexed about how does an accidental drowning occur. I immediately thought of Matthew Perry and Whitney Houston. They had the same cause of death, so we know where that came from. But in this case, it seems like there's no foul play, no...
Angie Stone was exposing secrets before she passed. Cat Williams started speaking out, and boom, his house got broken into. Allie Carter? Same thing. Jaguar opened up, and next thing you know, she's locked up. Jaguar ended up behind bars twice for stuff she had no business being locked up for. And now Malcolm drowns, right after calling out the industry for allegedly trying to take his soul and harm his baby. Celebs are dropping like flies, and people are starting to wonder, is this some kind of warning to keep everyone else quiet? Here's a bit of background. Reports say that just this past Sunday, Malcolm was out swimming with his 8-year-old daughter at a beach in Costa Rica when things took a tragic turn.
There's no illicit behavior, nothing, no smoking that you can really point to other than a powerful current in the ocean while you were swimming with your family on vacation, which is like maybe the most tragic circumstances of all. Everything was good, you're hanging out with your family, you're on vacation, you're making memories, and next thing you know, a rip current rips you away, and that's all she wrote. I honestly don't know what's worse. Something that's regrettable and reckless leaves you wondering why and how did we miss this and could this have been avoided. Something like this, though, is just like one...
Folks on the beach quickly noticed him, especially since he's known from the Bill Cosby Show and Malcolm and Eddie. So yeah, he stood out. Witnesses say he was seen drowning, and luckily, a surfer used his board to get Malcolm's daughter to safety. Meanwhile, a volunteer lifeguard managed to pull Malcolm and another surfer to shore. That's when they spent 45 whole minutes trying to bring him back. They gave him CPR, but it was too late. The forensic pathology team came out and said the autopsy confirmed Malcolm died from asphyxiation by submersion. Basically, drowning. They called it accidental. But, nah.
Minute you're good, and the next minute you're gone. With your family there, and I'm sure they were trying to save you, and oh my God. That is absolutely gut-wrenching. Just one of those examples of how Mother Nature can be an absolute deadly force. So once again, rest in peace to Malcolm-Jamal Warner, gone at the age of 54, simply from a rip current. While
folks were not buying that accidental story one bit, and they were loud about it online. What's even crazier? Before any of this went down, a well-known spiritual analyst on Instagram made a chilling prediction. She said a major celebrity was gonna go on vacation and wouldn't make it back alive. Most people brushed it off until this tragedy hit just days later. That clip resurfaced real quick, and now folks are saying she might have been right the whole time. Some are convinced Malcolm was targeted, that he was starting to speak out and they wanted him gone before he said too much. Don't forget, Malcolm was only 14 when he was on the Bill Cosby Show, and as many already know, Cosby was later exposed for some serious stuff, including accusations involving minors. Word's been spreading that Malcolm may have gone through some disturbing experiences of his own while filming that show, serious allegations of SA, and he was reportedly getting ready to expose everything.
Somebody on a big stage is about to fall of the hour, a star from The Cosby Show has died.
Malcolm-Jamal Warner drowned yesterday while on vacation.
Not long before that Costa Rica trip, Malcolm opened up in an interview saying he was offered roles in TV shows and movies. But there was a catch. He claimed he'd have to sell his soul to take those parts because of what they were asking him to do. Whatever it was, he refused, choosing his self-respect over the money. He didn't spill all the details, but it was serious enough for him to walk away from millions. That alone says a lot.
How are you holding up?
Phoenix on Carousel 22.
Like me, a lot of people in my generation, we grew up with you guys. We feel like when we get news like that of somebody like Malcolm passing, you know, we've got a group chat with all of our friends. It's like he was like our brother, right? You were like our little sister. You know what I mean? I mean, have you spoken to your former castmates? Like, how are you guys holding up?
After news of his death broke, tons of celebs who knew him reacted, and many hinted that this wasn't just some random accident. Even his Malcolm and Eddie co-star Eddie Griffin seemed suspicious. TMZ even pulled up on Raven-Symoné to get her thoughts on his sudden passing. She couldn't hold back the tears. Raven-Symoné, who acted alongside Malcolm on The Bill Cosby Show, saw everything he went through behind the scenes, all the alleged trauma right up close. She got emotional and said, "I've had a lot of deaths in my life over the past 4 years. This is a lot right now."
What? The actor Malcolm-Jamal Warner has died. First of all, rest in peace to him. He seemed like a very stand-up guy, positive role model. But I looked into this whole thing and it gets weird. First, let's start with the age he died at, which is 54. 5 plus 4 is 9. You guys know about my 9 videos, and 9 is the number of completion. But also, the show that he was famous for, The Cosby Show, in gematria equals up to 54 as well. Then let's go to the date
TMZ even released exclusive footage of Malcolm when he first touched down in Costa Rica. And honestly, he looked happy, like he was ready to enjoy the trip, make memories with his family, and head back home. But it's looking like the industry had other plans. And sadly, making it back alive wasn't one of them. As for Eddie Griffin, sources say he was just as stunned as everyone else when the news hit. But behind the scenes, he's reportedly saying this whole thing goes way deeper than anyone thinks. Word on the street is, there's way more to this story than just a tragic accident, and some folks are starting to connect the dots. Eddie's convinced that Malcolm was targeted, no doubt in his mind.
actually died on, which is July 20th, which is the 201st day of the year. Yeah, can anybody tell me why The Cosby Show ran for a total of 8 seasons, equaling 201 episodes? How? In which is the same number as this event, Event 201, which was a simulation of COVID in October of 2019, right before they actually had COVID. Something tells me that we have to watch for this number in future events.
But the reason he hasn't come out and fully explained why? He knows people might not believe him, and speaking up could put his own life at risk. Whether or not those source claims are 100% solid, one thing's clear: Eddie's keeping it very low-key online. His reaction was short but deep. He posted, "My heart is heavy today. For what the world lost was a father, a son, a poet, a musician, an actor, a teacher, a writer, a director, a friend, a warrior that I had the pleasure of going to war with against the Hollywood machine, and sometimes with each other, because that's what brothers do. But the love was and is always there."
Now, speaking of 9 and 201, Ozzy Osbourne has just died as well. He just performed his last concert just a couple weeks ago called Back to the Beginning, which is an odd title like they almost knew. But here's the thing. The attendance of that venue is 45,000. 4 plus 5 is 9. Now, you could call that coincidence, but here's the thing. His full name in gematria is also 201. What are the chances, right?
That says a lot without saying too much, and folks are picking up on it. Eddie's words hit hard, and now people are questioning what really happened behind the scenes. "You've taught me so much, and I thank you. Rest well, my big little brother." That's how Eddie ended his tribute. What's wild is, back when Malcolm and Eddie was still airing, the two did not get along, like, at all. Malcolm even admitted their rocky relationship off camera played a big part in why the show got canceled. And it wasn't just Eddie's constant lateness that bothered him. Malcolm was also clashing hard with the writers. He had real issues with some of the things they were trying to make him do. He wasn't about to just go along with the program, but in time, they patched things up. And now, Eddie seems focused on making sure Malcolm gets the justice he deserves. Someone online said, "I just said this, how bystanders rescued Warner, but he died in responders' care. No media, no heroes." Another added, "I agree 100%. When I heard he died, I instantly thought of Bill Cosby's son, Ennis." And people have been rewatching Malcolm's old interviews, seeing them in a whole new light. Malcolm knew his time was ticking. You could see it in his eyes. Real ones know, energy never lies. He felt it coming. But now I want to hear from you. What do you think really happened to Malcolm? Was this just a tragic accident? Or do you believe the drowning was a cover-up after he started exposing the dark side of the industry? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and click right here to watch another wild and messy breakdown you don't want to miss.